Here's a fact that you might not like to hear. The biggest obstacle standing between you and your dreams is you. Not your circumstances, not your lack of resources, not the economy of your country, not your current financial status, not even that difficult boss or family situation. It's the invisible chains you've wrapped around yourself without even realizing it. I'm talking about the voice in your head that whispers, "You're not ready yet," when opportunity knocks. The comfortable routines that feel safe but keep you stuck. The stories you tell yourself about why success is for other people, but not for you. Today, I'm going to show you 6 ways you might be secretly sabotaging your own progress, and more importantly, how to break free from each one. Because here's the truth. Once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them, and that's when everything changes. Let me start with a story. There was a young woman in Tokyo who dreamed of starting her own business. She had brilliant ideas, saved money, and even wrote detailed business plans. But every time she was about to take that first step, something would happen. She'd suddenly need to reorganize her entire apartment, or buy that expensive jewelry she's been dreaming of. Or she'd convince herself she needed one more certification. Or she'd find a critical flaw in her plan that required months more research. She will always find a reason or two why the time is not yet right. Sound familiar? Maybe it's not starting a business for you. Maybe it's pursuing a certification, relocation, learning a new skill, or finally having that difficult conversation. Whatever it is, there's a part of you that keeps finding reasons to wait, to prepare more, to be ready someday. This woman later discovered she wasn't lazy or unprepared. She was unconsciously protecting herself from potential failure by never fully trying. And once she recognized this pattern, she launched her business within 3 months. Now, I want you to pay close attention and avoid any distraction. The first way you might be holding yourself back is through perfectionism. And I know what you're thinking, but isn't being a perfectionist a good thing? Here's the plot twist. Perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's about fear wearing a fancy disguise. Let me paint you a picture. You have an idea for a creative project. Maybe it's writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, learning a skill, or launching a side business. You get excited. You start planning. But then perfectionism creeps in. You think, I need the perfect equipment first. I should wait until I'm more skilled. What if people judge my work? It needs to be amazing from day one. So, you research endlessly. You plan meticulously. You wait for the perfect moment. Meanwhile, weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And your dream stays safely locked away in your head where it can't be criticized or fail. Here's what I learned from talking to hundreds of successful people around the world. None of them started with perfection. The Brazilian entrepreneur who built a multi-million-dollar company started by selling handmade crafts on the street. The Indian programmer who created a popular app wrote his first code on an old, slow computer. The Nigerian artist, whose work is now in galleries, started by drawing on napkins. What do all these people have in common? They understood a simple truth. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created progress with imperfect resources. According to Steven Pressfield, successful people start before they feel ready. Perfectionism is just procrastination in disguise. Your first attempt doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. You can't edit a blank page. You can't improve a business that doesn't exist. and you can't get feedback on ideas you never share. Some big names around us today started out not having an idea of what they were doing, but they figured it out along the way. Here is what I want you to do right now. Think of something you've been perfectionism stalling on, that idea you've been procrastinating on, and I want you to commit to creating the most basic, imperfect version within the next 7 days. Not perfect, just real. It could also be making that call, an inquiry, or signing up for that class. Just do it now. The second trap is comparison. And in our connected world, this one hits harder than ever. Picture this scenario. You're scrolling through social media, feeling motivated about your goals. Then you see Sarah's promotion announcement, David's vacation photos from his successful business, Maria's perfectly organized home office, or Alex's impressive workout transformation. Suddenly, your own progress feels insignificant. Your small wins feel embarrassing. Your pace feels too slow. You think, why bother? Everyone else is already so far ahead. I remember coaching a talented graphic designer in Kenya who almost gave up on freelancing because he kept comparing his beginner portfolio to established designers with 10+ years of experience. He was measuring his day 1 against their day 3,000. Here's the hidden truth about comparison. You're comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. You see their successes, but not their failures. Their wins, but not their struggles. Their final results, but not their messy middle. That successful entrepreneur you're comparing yourself to? They probably failed at 3 businesses before this one. The fitness influencer with the perfect body? They've been working out consistently for years and strategically post their best angles. That YouTube channel with millions of views? They uploaded videos for 2 years to an audience of 50 people before going viral. The Instagram page with millions of followers? It started with awkward selfies and posts that got 12 likes. The friend with the perfect relationship? You don't see their difficult conversations and compromises. Understand that everyone is running their own race on their own timeline. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. This is what I want you to start doing from now on. For the next week, every time you catch yourself comparing, immediately write down one thing you've improved on recently, no matter how small. Build the habit of celebrating your own little progress instead of diminishing it. The third way you might be holding yourself back is what I call comfort zone addiction. And this one is sneaky because it doesn't feel like self-sabotage. It feels like being responsible and practical. Let me tell you about Ahmad, a software developer in Morocco. He worked at a stable company, made decent money, and had a predictable routine. Every evening, he'd dream about creating his own apps, maybe even starting a tech company. But every morning, he'd wake up and follow the same safe path. He was stuck in the comfort zone. His story is universal. Maybe you're in a job that pays the bills but doesn't excite you. Maybe you're in a city that's familiar but limiting. Maybe you're following a path that others expect from you, but that doesn't align with your true desires. The comfort zone promises safety, but here's what it really delivers: the slow death of your potential. When you stay in your comfort zone too long, you don't just avoid risk, you avoid growth. You avoid discovering what you're truly capable of. You avoid the version of yourself that you could become. But here's the thing about comfort zones. They're not actually that comfortable. Sure, they're familiar, but familiarity isn't the same as fulfillment. That nagging feeling you have, that restlessness, that voice asking, "Is this all there is?" That's your potential calling to you. You need to realize that the biggest risk isn't trying and failing. It's never trying at all. At the end of your life, you won't regret the chances you took. You'll regret the chances you didn't take. Look around you. The successful people you know are not smarter or more intelligent than you. The main difference is their courage to leave their comfort zone and act despite discomfort. These are the people ready to embrace the challenge, uncertainty, and humiliations of the learning zone. Now listen to me closely. I want you to identify one area where you've been playing it too safe. This week, take one small action that moves you a bit outside comfort zone and toward growth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Discomfort is just growth in disguise. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. The fourth way you might be sabotaging yourself is by living too much in the future. This sounds counterintuitive. Isn't it good to have goals and vision? Of course it is. But here's the trap. Constantly thinking, I'll be happy when, or my life will start when, or I'll feel confident after. I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. My real life will start when I find my dream job. I'll feel worthy when I leave my present location or achieve that goal. I'll start enjoying life when I have more money. You are basically living your life on when and if. Sound familiar? This mindset turns your present into a waiting room for your future. You postpone joy, postpone self-acceptance, postpone living fully until some future condition is met. But here's what happens. You reach that goal, feel good for a moment, then immediately create a new when to wait for. I worked with a brilliant doctor in Brazil who spent her entire 20s saying, I'll start living when I finish medical school. Then it became when I finish my residency. Then when I pay off my student loans. Then when I find the right partner. She was always one achievement away from allowing herself to be happy. It's crucial you understand that happiness and fulfillment aren't destinations you arrive at. They're ways of traveling. Your life is happening right now, not when you reach some future milestone. This is what I want you to start doing from now on. Practice present moment gratitude. Every day this week, write down 3 things you appreciate about your current life. Not your future life, your current one. Train yourself to find joy in the journey, not just the destination. Live your life one day at a time. The 5th way you might be holding yourself back is through imposter syndrome. That persistent feeling that you don't belong, that you're not qualified, that any success you've had was just luck. Let me share Maria's story. She's a talented engineer from the Philippines who got promoted to a leadership role. Instead of celebrating, she spent every day terrified that people would discover she was fake. She overprepared for every meeting, worked twice as hard as necessary, and constantly apologized for her ideas. The cruel irony: her imposter syndrome made her doubt the very skills that got her promoted in the first place. Imposter syndrome whispers things like, "You don't have enough experience. Everyone else knows more than you. You were just lucky. Soon they'll realize you don't belong here." But here's what I've learned from working with people around the world. The most competent people often feel like imposters, while the least competent people are filled with confidence. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. Your imposter syndrome isn't evidence that you're inadequate. It's evidence that you're growing, learning, and pushing yourself into new territories. It's proof that you're not settling for mediocrity. Please note this. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are one. It means you're brave enough to stretch beyond your current comfort level. Now listen to me closely. I want you to keep an evidence journal. Every time imposter syndrome strikes, write down 3 pieces of evidence that prove you do belong. Qualifications you have, problems you've solved, positive feedback you've received. Build a case for yourself. The final way you might be holding yourself back is through all or nothing thinking. This is the mindset that says, if you can't do something perfectly or completely, why bother doing it at all? You want to get fit, so you plan to work out for 2 hours every day. When life gets busy and you miss a few days, you think, I've already ruined it, and give up entirely. You want to learn a new language. So you commit to studying for an hour daily. When you skip a day, you feel like a failure and abandon the goal. You want to eat healthier, so you create an elaborate meal plan. When you have one cheat meal, you think, "I've blown it," and return to old habits. This thinking pattern turns minor setbacks into major defeats. It makes you quit when you could adjust. It makes you abandon progress when you hit imperfection. Let me tell you about James, a teacher in South Africa who wanted to write a novel. He set a goal to write 1,000 words every day. When work got busy and he could only write 200 words one day, he got discouraged and stopped writing entirely. 6 months later, he realized that if he had continued writing just 200 words on his busy days, he would have had a complete first draft by then. Now listen to this. Progress doesn't require perfection. Small, consistent actions compound over time into remarkable results. A 1% improvement daily makes you 37 times better over a year. This is what I want you to start doing from now on. Choose one goal where you've been all or nothing. Create a minimum viable progress version. What's the smallest amount you could do on your worst days? Commit to that tiny action, no matter what. So there you have it. 6 ways you might be secretly holding yourself back. 1. The perfectionism trap. Waiting for perfect instead of starting with real. 2. The comparison game. Measuring your beginning against someone else's middle. 3. The comfort zone addiction. Choosing familiar over fulfilling. The future-focused trap. Postponing happiness until someday. 5. The imposter syndrome spiral. Doubting your right to be where you are. 6. The all-or-nothing mindset. Quitting when you could adjust. If this video helped you identify something that's been holding you back, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which pattern you recognized in yourself. And if you want more content about breaking free from limiting beliefs and creating the life you actually want, subscribe and ring that notification bell. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. The only person who can hold you back is you, and the only person who can set you free is also you. Excuses will always be there for you. Opportunities won't. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.